Hello, I'm Ann Beversdorf, astrologer. My website is www.stariel.com. And today we're going to be talking about the energy systems that are going on right now at the middle of November through the end of December. What I would like to do is give you an idea of what these energies feel like. We have had some very, very big events astrologically in the month of November. Two planets, Pluto and Saturn, have been creating a very, very tight collision pattern. And both of these patterns are involved with fear. Saturn is the fear that things won't be the way they should be, in your opinion, and Pluto is the fear that you won't have any control about anything. Well, the fact is, we don't have control about anything right now, so that's the part you just have to get used to. Surrender, it's out of your control, you got to trust. The other part is realizing, with the fear things won't be the way you think they should be, is just about everybody has a different idea of how things should be. So what we have is this very incoherent fear pattern where everybody's about to hit a panic button and they're all hitting a different panic button. And this leads to some of the, basically I'd say, hysterical outbreaks of mass protest and confusion, and I don't like anything that's going on, and I'm afraid of everything that's going on, those kinds of feelings that have been happening. And of course we had this sad case recently in Fort Hood where a man was apparently so frightened about the position he was put in to go and fight his religious brethren when he believed in the United States, but he didn't want to fight his religious brethren, and he knew how horrible the situation was because he'd been counseling people who had come back full of trauma. And so he was overcome, in my opinion, by his tremendous fears of the situation. Now, what I want to say to all of you about fear is never about a fact. Fear is about your projection of something that will happen or that won't happen. These energies are leading us to fear, but they do not make bad things happen unless you succumb to fear. So be aware that you're being pushed in the direction of fear, but there really isn't anything you can do to control the big picture at this time. So the only thing you can control is yourself. Now, the other thing that happened just a few days ago is we're getting another planet into this mixture. We've got a very big pattern that's building and building and building that will reach a crisis point in the middle of next year. They're close enough now that we're beginning to see the results. And the planet Uranus, which is my way or the highway, freedom at any price, don't pin me in, don't lock me down, don't tell me what to do. It's I won't, I won't, I won't. Think of the adolescent rebel. This is the Uranus planet, and it made a station recently moving direct, which means it's now moving closer and closer to create a three-way intersection collision with Saturn and Pluto. So what we've got is a pattern that's very much like what we saw in the 60s, where these three planets were also in very tight collision courses. And we've got a replay of that on a larger scale. Now, I'm going to zoom forward into December a little bit. After the end of November, we're going, let's put this a different way. These changes come in waves. If you one big block and then it's in, there's a wave and it comes a little farther, and then a wave that doesn't come as far, and a wave that comes farther. So it's waves that kind of slowly start moving in. So we've got these waves that are moving in, and then they go back out, and another wave comes in. After the end of November, the wave is going to go out just a little bit. So there's going to be a little sense of, we're not drowning yet. We're not over, and forgive me, I don't mean to say anybody is going to drown. But it's a sense of a little bit of relief at the beginning of December. But then two interesting things happen at the end of December. One is that Mars, which has been in Leo for a while, will go stationary retrograde. So from where we sit on Earth, looking out at the sky, it looks like it's stopped in its forward motion and it's turned around and moving backwards. And then it'll move forward again. In the tropical zodiac, which most of you are familiar with, this means Mars, which usually spends 2 months in a single sign, this means Mars is going to be in the same sign, Leo, until next summer. So this is a very big deal. Leo is a sign of kings and leaders. And when Mars is in Leo, we're having the sense of, I would say, kind of prideful aggressiveness. But here's the warning. When Mars is retrograde, anybody who starts a fight will lose it. Mars will go retrograde on December 20th. So if you've got a big lawsuit you want to bring against somebody, do it before then, or do it after, I believe it's March 10th is when it goes direct. Don't start your fight when Mars is retrograde. The good news is it's an excellent time to withdraw from conflict. And it does look like there is the possibility that we are retreating a little bit from the Afghan conflict. Hopefully there won't be another conflict started. The other thing to know about this retrograde Mars is if anybody starts a fight with you when Mars is retrograde between December 20th and March 10th, they will lose. So that's just a little rule of thumb about Mars. And one more thing is Mercury will go retrograde on December 26th. It's a 3-week period. Now, don't think we have to cancel Christmas. It's still coming. It's still going to be fine. We're still going to have New Year's. But what we can say about this is you need to plan a little extra time to get things done. If you've got a trip, make sure if you're flying, carry the essentials in your carry-on, because there's a more than average chance that your luggage may be waylaid, lost, delayed, that mail or telephones or computers or traffics will be a little screwy during the 3-week period starting December 26th. It's an excellent time for you to review anything, to redo anything that you've started, to rebuild, recreate, think about. I always like writing during a Mercury retrograde because Mercury is about communication. And when it's retrograde, it kind of goes inward and you get to think a little bit more. So if you need to do a writing project, sometimes that's a very good time to do it. It's not generally a good time to sign a contract for a new project or make a commitment, say, for purchase of property, things of that nature. So that is a quick overview of the next 6 weeks, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving and a fabulous holiday season, and take it easy.